Good morning, Nancy Burt-Preece here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here to share with you a couple of projects today. So let's get going. Here's all my contact information if you need it. We're going to make a fun fold, and we're going to make this cute picnic basket. I can't even say that 3 times. So if you want directions or measurements, here they are. So feel free to take a screenshot. We're going to start with a double flap fold, fun fold, say that 3 times. I cased this from a project by Onigo Stamping, and this is what we're going to be using, and I will go through that with you. And then the picnic basket, my friend Marianne, we saw this on a reel, but it didn't really say who created the reel. I had a hard time finding that. So I'm not sure who came up with this, but I will be sharing it with you. And my friend Marianne helped me with all the measurements, which are in centimeters. And I'll get out my my Stampin' Up! Trimmer, because you're going to see the beautiful thing about this is there are also centimeters up here. So this will make our life so much easier. Okay, I think I've got everything now that it all kind of moved around. So I'm going to move this off to a second, and we're going to start with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a piece of hydrangea hue cardstock. It is 5.5 by 11, so it takes up a lot of one sheet of cardstock, which is trickier because, you know, you're not getting as much, but save your scraps because you can use them for something else. So I scored it at 1 3/4, 6, and 9. Then I don't have my belly band. I don't know where I put that one, but I will quickly get a belly band ready, which is 1 by 9.5. So let me just kind of move things around so I can cut that quickly. 9.5, and that is going to be 1. Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Then I'm going to show you, I'm using the Bloom Boutique paper. So I'm going to use 4 different pieces, and I'm using different colors. If you wanted to, you could turn and use other sides, whatever you chose. I'm using a piece of 1/2 by 5.5. Oops, not that one. 1.5 by 5.5 is this one. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Sorry, let me read it correctly. Is this one. 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 is this one. And this one goes on the belly band. So this one is 3/4 by 4. I also need a piece of white, which I already stamped. And this is the Bloom Boutique, which I like the stamp set as well as the dies. I stamped that in black, and I stamped this in black, Happy Birthday, which is going to go on this cute little flower. And you know how I love these butterflies. I'm sorry, I just use them all the time because I think they're so pretty. So let's do, this is about the easiest fun fold. When I do this class that I'm doing, I try to have one a little bit easier because some of the other ones are a little trickier. So what she suggested is to fold right in the middle, which really helps. You just fold that. Then this one folds up. And this one folds. Whoops, I did that wrong, didn't I? See? I always think you got it right. No, I did it right. I did it right. And then this one folds in. See, it's kind of an unusual fold. So you're like, is that wrong? It's not wrong. And it makes it easier when you start putting the designer series paper. Then you're like, Oh yeah, now I know how this goes. So I'm going to start with my 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on. That just kind of helps me know where everything goes. It seems weird to fold it this way, but remember, it's a double flap. Now this flap, the beautiful thing is everything is cut so it fits on the flap perfectly. So in other words, this one is too big. So you know that this one can only go on that flap. That makes me happy, especially when I'm using it for classes. Then people know, wait a minute, that doesn't fit there, because it fits here, which is great. Then I'm going to put this piece on this other flap. I mean, does this not go together so super quick? I'm going to open that up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead, since I already stamped the inside, I'm going to go ahead. I have to come back and clean that off. I see. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I know where that goes. And that goes right underneath the cover, right here. These I left plain because, you know, you already got a lot of parts and pieces going. Then I'm going to wrap, so I've already got this done. Like that went together like super quick. Yes, you have to cut the parts, but once you cut it, it's like, ooh, so easy. You can go ahead and do a little bit of scoring, but I don't. I like my belly bands to kind of move. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue here, tiny bit of glue there. And I like the center to be on the front because you want to be able to get it on and off. Not too easy, but not too hard. So that works perfect. Because oops, you got to hold it for a minute when it's glue. We're going to cover that up like this. And then we're going to put our little embellishment right on the front. Like I say, I have all different, I'm going to pretty much, if you come to my class, we're going to use this one, but it gives you ideas on how you can do it at home with any color you want, any designer series paper you want. Make sure when you're adhering these, I kind of like to get like a point with a point. When you're adhering this on here, only put adhesive on the belly band. Don't put it all over. Don't put it on the back of here or it will adhere to your card. Then you're just going to add a couple of butterflies. I'm going to do a big one and a little one, and I'm ready to go. Is that the easiest fun fold? And I'm not sure Onigo is the one that first came up with it, but I've seen it on a couple of different ones, but I'm using her measurements. So once again, those are the measurements. Now I'm going to share with you my second project, which is the picnic basket. My dear friend Marianne saw this and brought it to class. I got to show you hers because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. We have got to make this. So what we are doing is we are using, this is on an online exclusive, some of this designer series paper. And I am using, this one is Homemade Sweetness. Now let me get out my paper trimmer because this is going to be important for you to see. Got to move that up a little bit. And she even made me a template. That's how wonderful she is. So if you're using Stampin' Up, if you don't have a Stampin' Up one, some still have the measurements you're going to need. And so when I say 15 by 15, I line that up. Hopefully you can see that. I'm lining that up at that 15 and cutting a square. For the basket top, I'm doing 12 by 7. And then for this one, it's 2 centimeters by 17, which I don't have to open that up for that, but that's what it is for the basket top. So let me show you how you're going to score it. You're going to score this on 5 centimeters on every side. I'm going to line that up. Now it's not quite to the 2. It's a little bit above the 2. And I'm going to make sure and use my gray blade. You could do 5 and 10. I just decided it was almost easier to just do 5 on every side. And 5. Okay, so I've got that all scored. You've got even blocks in case you're wondering. Then this one I'm going to score at 1 centimeter, and I'm going to go over here and line it up. Do you see my 1 there? I'm going to line it up at 1. You don't, when you're scoring designer series paper, you don't want to go too heavy because you can rip it, and I have done that, so don't do that. I have to make sure I don't go too hard. The other thing you're going to do is in the middle, you're going to score it at 5. And you're going to score it at 7. Okay, so we've got all our scoring done. Now what we're going to do, we've got all our parts and pieces. I already made a bow, which I will add on with a glue dot, so we can deal with that after. What we're going to do is, and my dear friend made a nice template for me. So what you're going to do is you're going to, it doesn't make a difference how you hold it. I'm going to cut up on this side, as long as it's all even right now, it's all a square. So then on opposite, I'm cutting up and I'm cutting up. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to come back with my bone folder gently, because it is designer series paper and you don't want to make it so hard that it is, you know, going to rip. I could have done that before I cut. That probably would have been smarter, but you know, I'm on life, so I didn't. Okay, so this is what we've got. And this is going to be how incredibly easy this is going to be. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring the sides. So think about using the sides. You're going to bring the sides to a point. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of adhesive. I'm using glue, so I have a little bit of wiggle room. And on one of them, I go to the point. The other one, I just go down here. And I'm going to put them together. And I'm going to hold for a minute. Just because you're using glue, you got to hold for just a minute. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to a point down here. Oops, make sure you go like that. Don't do it the other way. Okay. Oops, my points didn't match. There we go. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to, and it might not be exactly even, and that's okay. I'm going to come back and make this straight. It might not be perfectly straight. It's close to being straight. And I'll show you in a minute why you have to do this section. So I just start and I get it as straight as I can. Like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so we've got our bottom ready. Now remember, this is a light little designer series paper, so you can't like put super heavy things in there like jewelry or light candies or different things. This is what it's meant for. It's meant for like a picnic favor. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. This time maybe I'll be smart and score first, or we're with my bone fold first. This is my top. Now, if you wanted to use the other side, you could. I'm going to give you this if you come to my class, and then you get to choose. If you're doing it at home, you can use any designer series paper you want. I just thought this little plaid looked like a cute little picnic. Okay, so now I've got it all scored. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up each side. So I'm going to cut up here, turn it, cut up here, turn it, cut up here, turn it, and cut up here. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut up here. Okay. Just cutting up. Okay. And I'll show you, because what you're going to do is eventually the top of the handle will cover that little piece, but that allows this part to move like a picnic basket. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the sides. Now, these are tiny little centimeters, so if for some reason I goof it up, you can just trim it, okay? So I'm going to put this side and I'm going to hold for a minute. You're trying to get it to look like a box. And I'm going to do the same thing. Put a little bit of adhesive. Hold for a minute. Goal is to make it look like a box. Put a little bit of adhesive. Make it look like a box. And I'll show you how this one is a little bit higher, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. You know, you try to get it exact, but, you know, we're humans, so sometimes it's not exactly. That's what scissors are for, right? Then I'm going to come and ring that in, and I'm going to hold it. Okay? So now it should look like a box top. Now this one, I don't know what I did to it. Let me take it off a little. Well, it's okay. I'm going to just, nobody will ever know the difference, right? So now we've got our box top. Here's how we're going to adhere it. We're going to adhere it. I'm going to kind of put it on there because you want to make sure that it will fit on your box bottom. Just kind of getting it on there. May not be perfect, okay? So I've got it on my box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift these up a little bit. And I'm going to put, I would recommend glue on this point because you really need some wiggle room. So I would use glue. That's how I would do it, but you know, you're welcome to use any adhesive of your choice. Make sure this is fitting on. And I'm going to put that down. Don't do that. See, it's hard doing it on camera. There we go. I'm going to put that down and hold it for a minute. Maybe I can flip that up. Yes, I can. That was my goal, is to flip that up so I can hold it for a second. Because sometimes with liquid glue, you just really need to hold it to let it set. Putting this back, does it fit? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's my first side. Once you get side one, side two goes easier. You're like, oh, phew. All right, I'm going to lift this up. Put a little bit of adhesive. Close my box, put it down, and come in. It's a little fiddly. What's life if you can't do a little fiddly with your paper, right? Now I see another little spot where I went a little bit off. Trim it up. Trim it up. Okay, oops. Don't do that. I was so excited about trimming, I lifted it up. Put it back. Really hold that in there. Okay, now is that the cutest thing you've ever seen? We're not even done yet. I like that, you know, you could open it just like a basket. I just think that is so cute. And I just thank my friend Marianne for showing that to me, because she is, well, she's one of my favorites because she just comes up with such creative ideas. Although I say that, everybody, when I was a teacher, the kids always said, am I your favorite? And I'd say yes to every single kid because, you know, I'm so fortunate to have such a wonderful stamping community that has so many great ideas that they love to share, and I love to see them. So I'm very blessed on that. So now I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, just maybe a little bit there. Do you notice how I used my bone folder and made this kind of make the paper work for you? And you're going to put that in and hold it for a minute. That way it's covering up that little check piece. I'm going to come around, do the same thing. And I might get a little bit more glue here. And cover that up, hold it. Kind of making sure they're about the same on both sides. You can go in, really push it. Is that, I mean, like a door, a bow. I went ahead and made a bow, I tied it. And now I'm going to use a glue dot. And I am going to, I'm going to put 2 glue dots on. Last time I only put 1, and I ended up having to come back and put another one on. So I would put 2 if I were you. Really get that glue dotted, however you want to say that. You get to decide which side you want. I mean, they're both basically the same. So I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to come in with my ribbon scissors and go ahead and just trim that up. You can trim, I might trim it a little bit shorter on that other side. So it's fun to know that sometimes when you see things in centimeters and you go, well, I can't do that. I can't figure out how to do that. If you get a Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, you really can, because it's right on there. So I hope you like our little basket and our fun fold card, and I hope you give them a try. They're really fun and relatively easy, and they pack a big wow. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.